And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, February 14th, Valentine's Day edition of the process. I don't have anything fun planned for that, but I needed to say it anyway. Oh, we got a 9-game NBA slate, and I am here to break it all down for you guys. So before we get even started on anything, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. And shout out to Prize Picks for being the presenting sponsor of this video. Go to awesemo.com/prizepicks-promo. Get yourself one free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. Get a little bit of a deposit bonus. We have free tools on awesemo.com that will help you out tremendously, including our free Prize Picks player prop tool. So make sure you're checking it out. Get that free month. Get in the door. See what we're all about. Oh, guys, it has been a long stretch of time. I've had a buddy in town for like over a week. Birthday over the weekend. Super Bowl. I'm mildly well rested, but simultaneously not. But the good news is rest is in our futures. 4 days of NBA content this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then we're off for a week. NBA All-Star break starting up on Friday until the following Thursday, I believe. A lot of time off in the near future. So we're going to be able to rest, get our sleeps in before we come back for the long haul. And before we make our final push to the end of the season and then into the playoffs. Nice to see everybody here right now. A lot of coffee cups, a lot of people, a lot of good mornings. So good morning to all of you guys. Greg Smith wants to know how my DFS night went last night for the Super Bowl. The only thing that I played was the big FanDuel contest, and I didn't win it. So that's really all that matters. It didn't go well. Adam Young wants to know if I am pro or anti Valentine's Day. I would say, let's say, definitely more anti than pro. I'm not a big fan of commercialized holidays at all. I'd prefer to just do nice things throughout the year, not be forced to by Hallmark. Nothing wrong with it. Like if you are a celebrator of it, I think it makes some sense. Like my wife and I are going out to dinner tomorrow night instead of tonight because going out on specific Valentine's Day is just not worth the hassle and the extra pomp and circumstance at this point. But yeah, I'm generally anti-commercial holidays. Anthony, thank you. Rise and grind, everybody, for sure. Ooh, I almost took that sip. I didn't do it. I was just thirsty for coffee. Sometimes I just get out in front of my skis a bit. Matthew Luber says, so I won the Yahoo Awesemo free roll along with 5,000 people, unfortunately. How does the free Awesemo subscription work? I don't know how that particular promotion is going to work. Your best bet is going to be to email support@awesemo.com. They can get you straightened out. How many slices of pizza did I eat last night? None. We had traditional Super Bowl fare last night. We ended up eating chicken tikka masala. So that was my dinner. A lot of chips and dips, but a lot of chips and dips. Well, I think, Haywood, thank you very much. I think it's about time to get started. We have a 9-game slate. That's going to take a little bit of time. And by the way, I am not on the strategy show today. That will be Lofty. I believe I'm also not on it on Wednesday. That is correct. So I'm only on the strategy show Tuesday and Thursday this week. Lofty gets the other 2 days, which means it's going to be light work for me. Let's get into it, though. Let's start here. Rise and grind. You guys know the drill there. I went to the small screen first. We'll pop it out quickly. Special bedhead edition from post Super Bowl. My hair is all over the place. Let's hit it, though. Rise and grind. We got it. Just right there. I've got my coffee. I hope you guys do, too. If you don't have a coffee and you have a tea, water, beer, if you're going to be like Snoop hitting that joint before the Super Bowl started, go for that. If you're like a hot dog guy in the morning, you're probably in the minority, but no complaints. Again, Just because I didn't like Valentine's Day doesn't mean other people can't like it. Just because I don't want to have a hot dog for breakfast doesn't mean other people can't. So here it is right here for you guys. Boom. Cheers. Let's get it started. Another week. Another big week of NBA DFS content. I Hate Anxiety wants to know how I'm going to promote beer this early. Look, other countries have beers for breakfast all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. You get a good boost out of the day. How many times did I double dip? Constantly. Adam Shockley says, just watch your FC video on how to make lineups. My question is, if you have a smaller player pool, should you use 3 unique and 5 randomness? You shouldn't just immediately use anything that came out of that video. The amount of uniques and randomness you use are fully personal dependent. It's going to depend on a lot of other settings in FC. If you have if you have exposure caps on or off, that dictates how many uniques or randomness you should use. The more randomness you use, the less uniques you use. The more uniques you use, the less randomness you should use, and vice versa. That's one you got to figure out on your own because everybody's settings dictate the way that FC will just simply work. Ryan, yes, I am on live before lock today. All right, let's start it off. Detroit Pistons taking on the Washington Wizards. Pistons are 4-point dogs in Washington. I have no idea who's available for the Wizards today. This is going to be a disaster. So let's start with Detroit. For Washington, it looks like we have no Porzingis, no Daniel Gafford, so they're going to be hurting here. We need to get Ish Smith from Charlotte to Washington, but we'll do that on the next round. So let's just look at Detroit to start. All right, for Detroit, Corey Joseph not on the injury report. Marvin Bagley not on the injury report. Frank Jackson is out, so we'll get him out of there. Larry, I absolutely did. Thank you. All righty. Look at Detroit. And looks like Bagley hasn't made his debut yet, which means I think we assume that he does today. I assume that he did it last time. We didn't get that, but it does feel a little bit more likely today. So I'm going to continue with my assumption that Marvin Bagley is the backup center to Isaiah Stewart, that Jeremy Grant continues to play his 32 minutes, that we get, well, Cade did come back. I don't think he's going to play 30 minutes here. I think he'll be on a minutes limit, so I'm going to take another 2 minutes away. I've got Corey Joseph in for 27. That seems about right to me. I've got Killian Hayes in for 23. You know, conceivably that could be a little light. Frank, no worries. No worries. I guess we can get Hamidou Diallo up to his 22 minutes. And that leaves me just 9 additional minutes for basically anyone. I'm going to give them to Rodney Magruder. And I think this makes a bit of sense. Maybe I'll take Corey Joseph down to 26, and I'll get Killian Hayes up to 24. Maybe that looks a little bit better. There's not too much really to like here. Honestly, I'm tempted to knock Cade Cunningham's minutes down a little bit further than 30, but maybe 28 makes a little bit more sense. Let's do something like that. We're going to like Jeremy Grant, as we have for a while. Now, Washington is fixing to look pretty crazy. So this team clearly not looking the same way that they had been looking. I'm going to delete this entire rotation because Bradley Beal done. Dinwiddie no longer on the team. Davis Bertans no longer on the team. We had Ish Smith play 20 minutes out of the gate on Saturday. I need to look at that rotation. So Washington lost by 13 to Sacramento. They started Neto, Kuzma, Kispert, KCP, and Thomas Bryant. That's easy enough. So assuming Neto starts again, and he basically played your normal starters rotation. They were in a blowout, so he lost the final minute. So I'm going to say that Howell Neto is set to play either 29 or 30 minutes. We'll go to 29. Kuzma, obviously pretty easy to just say that he's going to play, 35 minutes. This is his team now, so to speak. So we'll pop that in. Did everybody else play normal rotations? KCP did. Corey Kispert played the extended runs and the extra rotations. So that's interesting to see. Thomas Bryant, I assume, got in some foul trouble. Nope. They just took him off, even though things were going pretty well. I don't know why they did that. They brought Anthony Gill in, which is something that they did that I did not expect, but okay. So if that rotation could have gone a little bit differently, I think we have to assume that Thomas Bryant's playing a little bit more than the minutes that he did. He at least missed out on the blowout run. So that's 24. I don't know. That's a weird rotation. Like, there's nothing to stop him. I don't know why they went to that. I don't know what happened to Bryant there. If anybody knows if he came off for an injury or something, it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I think he's much more likely to play like a 6-minute rotation there. So I'm going to give him 4 more minutes. So I'm going to say 26 for Thomas Bryant. And it looks like Anthony Gill was just, for the most part, his straight backup. They did have Rui out there for a little bit. So I don't want to go to 22 on Anthony Gill. I'm going to go to 18. That allows me to still go to 4 on Rui. And then Rui got to 22. So I'm going to maintain that. This is making the rotation piece together a little bit easier. We saw Kispert play 35 minutes, and it appears like 32 is certainly in the cards again. None of this was rotational. I don't know why he didn't close in certain spots, but I'm going 30 to Kispert. Justin Sports, thank you. So let's get 30 on Kispert. And we'll get 30 on KCP. That's sort of just what KCP plays. We still need to get Denny's minutes in. Denny played 28. So is he closing over somebody? Is that what we're... 28 doesn't feel real. Obviously, he picked up an extra minute here, so he played 27. I don't necessarily understand why Denny came in for that final 2 minutes and 23 seconds here after Kispert had played forever. So I think that Denny is more like a 24-minute guy. Now we have 26 minutes left over, at least for now, for Ish Smith. And I think that's actually it. That would be the 9th guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay. So we're giving Ish the backup point guard minutes, clearly. That leaves me 7 additional minutes. So they got those minutes have to go somewhere. They're not going to Neto, to my knowledge. They're not going to Ish Smith. Well, some of them could go to Ish Smith. They're not. I don't think they're going to Kispert, but I am going to give him another minute. Take him up to 31. I guess I could feel comfortable going to 2 more minutes on Denny. And then I'll go to 23 on Ish Smith. Now, from a rates perspective, I don't really know how to project this team. So let's see if we had any sort of playing time where, and I'm sure we have some sort of sample of Kyle Kuzma, because he's really the only guy that we can trust here. Let's find out what Kuzma did when Beal was off, Dinwiddie was off. I'm even going to say Montrezl Harrell was off. And I think the rest of it will be fine. So Kuzma played 190 minutes without those guys on the floor, 25.5% usage rate. So I'm pretty comfortable with what I have in here right now. So I'm going to go ahead and delete every other rate except for Kuzma's usage rate. And then I'm just going to let that one hang out. So that's game one in the books. It took a little bit longer than we would have liked, but it's Monday. And we know this takes longer on Mondays. It just does. So let me clear out some of this old data that I forgot to clear out. There we go. All right, so we're starting on Detroit for the Pistons. Let's update these to 5x plus 10. We're dancing. All right, so on Detroit, it's once again Jeremy Grant, 5,700 on FanDuel, 6,300 on DraftKings. You just got to play him and play a decent chunk of him. He's just wildly underpriced, particularly on FanDuel. On the Washington side, I really like Kuzma, 7,700 on FanDuel, 8,600 on DraftKings is still a perfectly reasonable price, but that 7,700 one on FanDuel is great. Thomas Bryant, if you think he's playing 26 minutes, 4,900 power forward center, 4,500 just center. I'm cool with that. If I had any concept of where the usage was going to come from on this team other than Kuzma, it would be interesting. Everybody else that I've given minutes that's relevant has like a 15% usage rate. So someone's going to fall into it. For right now, I have it as Thomas Bryant. That might be a little bit too aggressive. I think I don't have a choice. So I like Kuzma. I like Thomas Bryant. I want to get to Corey Kispert on DraftKings at 4,100. I want to get to KCP and Neto across both sites. Lots to like here for Washington, so make sure you have your eye on them today. I got to charge my watch. There we go. All righty. Up next, game number 2, Sacramento at Brooklyn. No telling what's going on for old Sacktown here. For the Kings, Q tag on Jeremy Lamb, and that's it. So this should look like a pretty normal rotation. Obviously, no more Halliburton. Lamb didn't play the last time out. So I've got 35 minutes in for De'Aaron Fox. That seems fine. We got 34 minutes in for Davion Mitchell. Actually, I want to delete basically everything in this rotation because I have no idea what they're about to do. Fox, 35 minutes makes sense. We know that. We saw Rashawn Holmes and Domantas Sabonis played 2 minutes alongside each other. But Sabonis is the starting center of this team now. We're going to go 34 minutes there. 14 for Rashawn Holmes. So that piece is easy. We did see Chimezie Metu continue to play. He's more of a backup 4, I reckon, but maybe that's more Barnes. So if I give Harrison Barnes 34 minutes, that's what we want to do, right? Yes, there we go. We want to give Harrison Barnes 34 minutes. I'm going to give Metu a quick 12. I'd like to give... Do I not have Justin Holiday on this team? I certainly don't. Guess I missed Justin Holiday in this deal, so let's move him over. So many moving parts still. I'm excited to play this slate. I have not played DFS in a pretty long time at this point, other than the Super Bowl last night. So I have a bit of an itch to scratch. Okay, let's try this again now. So Justin Holiday gets popped in for... Well, he played 30 minutes in both of these first 2 games. What does that rotation look like? Okay, he was in this one. Started normal rotation. We're going just 30 minutes for Justin Holiday. Boom, done. So then why did Davion Mitchell only play a minimal amount here? Came off the bench. Okay, that's just what he's going to play here. If we're to believe this rotation. So Mo Harkless is the guy that's about to play a ton, I reckon. Are we keeping him at 30 minutes too? Maybe I go 28 on Justin Holiday, 28 on Mo Harkless. I feel like I still need to get Metu some additional time. So I want to get him up to 18. And then that leaves us 47 minutes for Dante DiVincenzo and Davion Mitchell. I think we're going to get a pretty minimal amount of DiVincenzo. I actually feel kind of comfortable with 27 minutes of Davion Mitchell here. JS, I don't even know what that is. Let's go with that for a rotation right now for the Kings. I don't have a great feeling about rates on this team, but I think that we can just sort of go with my standards for right now. So I put Sacramento in the books. Let's go to Brooklyn, which I'm sure is equally as difficult to try to figure out. What will we get out of the Brooklyn Nets? This is a Brooklyn Nets team that will have or will not have Kyrie Irving in this one, so more complicating matters. I got to delete this entire rotation because they're still copying over old minutes, and this is just previous rotations of 290 minutes. We don't know what this team looks like yet with no Kyrie, but all the new pieces. So this is going to take some time. I assume we're getting Drummond and Seth Curry for this one. Would I be right? Brooklyn. So we have no Kyrie, no Durant, no Ben Simmons, no Joe Harris. Curry, Drummond, Aldridge, Claxton, James Johnson, all apparently available, which means this is going to be about as complicating as anything could possibly be in the front court. Let's start here. We're getting 34 minutes out of Patty Mills, and I think that we're going to have to get 32 minutes out of Seth Curry pretty easily. I don't have a great feel of who is going to be the starting center for the Brooklyn Nets. It could go many different directions, and I would believe it. Maybe they start Drummond. Maybe. I know they cut Bembry, so let's go ahead and remove him from the team. I don't think Shaq Harrison is on his team either, so we'll 86 him as well. Michael, it was very good. Thank you for asking. I mean, Cam Thomas has been playing 30 minutes a game. Does that continue now that Seth Curry is back? Your mileage may vary. How tall is Cam Thomas in relationship to anyone else? Cam Thomas is 6'4". Okay, so feels like Cam Thomas's minutes are going to go down. Let's go 24 minutes to Drummond. Aldridge hasn't played in 7 games, so I'm not super worried about him. I think that Day'Ron Sharpe is probably dead in the water, although maybe it's also Nick Claxton. I have no feel. I don't know how anybody's going to project the front court of this team today. We're going to get it wrong a lot. Like a lot. You know what? I'm going to go 16 for Drummond, 16 for Aldridge, 16 for Claxton. I think they're going to be real weird about this because they can, and they just want to mix and match and try to figure this kind of shit out. So backup point guard. Sort of feels like it's going to be also Seth Curry somehow. Got to delete all these rates too. That's just going to make things complicated. Javon Carter still plays. I don't know how much we need to worry about that. So I'm gonna give Seth Curry what is technically the backup point guard run. Kessler Edwards is going to continue to play. I'm going to say he's going to play like 22 minutes. I'm going to assume James Johnson plays and also plays about 22 minutes. Bruce Brown is just all over the map with minutes. I'm going to give him 16. And again, we're going to find out if I need to be giving more or less minutes to anybody else. I am going to cut the minutes of Cam Thomas down to maybe something in like the 26 range. That's 9 guys. That leaves me 40 additional minutes. I have not given any minutes to Day'Ron Sharpe at this point, and I don't think that I will. I haven't given any minutes to Javon Carter. He would be the last guy, and that would make 10. David Duke can make 11, but I'm definitely not giving 40 minutes to the 2 of those guys. So we're going to have to bump somebody up somewhere. We do tend to get more time out of Javon Carter when Kyrie is not available. So because we got 30 minutes here out of Javon Carter, that's with no Harden. As we take it back, we got 21 here. We only got 5 on that one, but they've got different bodies now. So I'm going to say Javon Carter plays, 18? Now, if that were the case, that leaves us 22 additional minutes for David Duke, who also played 28 minutes the last time Kyrie sat, did not play the game before that. So I can give him, I think, 12. I think that I can comfortably give Bruce Brown up to 6, get him to 22. I think maybe we can get Cam Thomas up to 28 and Kessler Edwards to 24. I don't trust this at all. I don't really know what to do with the rates of any of the guys on this team. There's no Kyrie, there's no James Harden, there's no Kevin Durant. I mean, do we even have an idea of what this team does when none of the stars are on the floor? Oddly enough, they've probably played like a lot of minutes without all 3 guys on, right? No Durant, no Harden, no Kyrie. I mean, Patty Mills probably has a ton of playing time at this point. Yeah, Javon Carter's played 246 minutes without these guys. Cam Thomas gets a 27% usage rate. Patty Mills has a 26% usage rate. I'm actually going to bump those things up. I'm going to give Patty Mills like a 24% usage rate here. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Patty Mills up to 23, 22.5 on Curry, 23.5 on Cam Thomas. I think everybody else is just going to fall into line after that. I think that's about as good as I can do here for this Brooklyn team, having no idea who's going to be playing for them. So game number 2 in the books. So we're 2 games in. We're a half hour in. We're going all the way to 8 o'clock pretty easily today, guys. But we got nothing but time. Philip Sharp, I agree. 7 a.m. Please hit that like button. Remember, guys, we used to get 100 likes at 7 o'clock in the morning. We now have 109 viewers, 42 likes. I know we're going to get to 100 likes, but let's try to get to it a little bit faster. What do you say? All right, for Sacramento, De'Aaron Fox, 8K on FanDuel, 8,200 on DraftKings. He is my favorite piece. Domantas Sabonis would be second, 9,800 on FanDuel, 9,700 on DraftKings. I don't really want anything else from Sacramento. For Brooklyn, however, Patty Mills is 5K on FanDuel, 4,800 on DraftKings. So Patty Mills used to be point guard, small forward. Now he's shooting guard, small forward. Okay. I'd like to get to Seth Curry as well. I think that he's looking pretty darn good in this one. I think Cam Thomas for 5,700 on DraftKings still looks good. He's 7,100 on DK or on FanDuel. That's problematic. I think $3,500 Bruce Brown on DK has a little bit of value. Keep your eyes peeled on that one. Kind of all comes down to the minutes. I think that probably covers me in this game, though. So that's 2 down. We'll keep it moving now. Oklahoma City, 8-point underdogs in New York. This one, I'm sure, is an absolute disaster to look at for OKC. What do we have available for the Thunder? No Shea, no JRE, no Muscala. We got Dort in for 34 minutes. Yes. We've got Giddey in for 30. He played 32 the last time out after everybody was yelling at me about it. So we're going to bump him back up to 32. We're going to take Trey Mann, who has played minimal minutes over the past 3 games, down now that we're getting Aaron Wiggins back. So let's take everybody else out of this rotation quickly. We're going to rebuild Oklahoma City. Isaiah Roby is also back. That's important. So now that we've got Roby back, I'm going to say Roby's playing 22 minutes. Baisley maintained his 30, so I'm going to take Baisley to 34. We got Trey Mann in for those 16. I do want to give him more than that, so we're going to take him to 24. Ty Jerome feels pretty firm around 20. Theo Maledon did not play the last time out. Poku's minutes went down. I'm going to give Poku the backup 4 run. That'll allow me to give Lou Dort a bigger chunk of time at the 2. If I give Kenrich Williams his 25 minutes, leaves me, well, an okay chunk of time at least. All right, so they were willing to go to Baisley for 35 minutes. They went to Roby for 24 and a half. Who else played center? I guess it was Baisley, right? That's the only way that makes sense. Saturday the 12th. So they played on my birthday. OKC, competitive game too. So this will actually play a role. So Isaiah Roby started, played normal rotation, picked up 3 fouls in his second rotation, had to come off. Kenrich Williams was on. So it was Giddey, Baisley, Dort, Williams, Wiggins. Okay. Roby came back on, no issues. Kenrich Williams subbed on for him. They had Kenrich on. They didn't have Baisley on for most of it. So I think we're sort of saying that Kenrich Williams was the nominal center. It's not Poku, just for anybody that's about to say it out loud. So when Roby came back off again in the 4th quarter, they closed small. Giddey, Baisley, Mann, Dort, Williams. Okay. So let's take Poku's minutes out of there. We're going to say Kenrich Williams actually plays like 4 minutes at the 5. And about 25 minutes total. We're going to say that Baisley plays a decent chunk at the 5 as well. I mean, Roby played 24 minutes. I actually think that I need to give him more playing time. So let's bump him up to 24. Let's do something like that. That lets me get Poku in for 20. And that lets me get Aaron Wiggins in for backup run. Call it 18. Then I'll leave 9 extra minutes for Theo Maledon. Ugh, I really hate this Oklahoma City team. Just a real not much of a treat to try to project. Isaiah Roby, I guess, is the flat minimum on DraftKings, so that is going to stand out pretty dramatically. I don't have any other changes to make for Oklahoma City, so let's go to New York. This one, at least, should be easy. They didn't really do anything. So we've got no RJ Barrett. We've got no Derrick Rose. Reddish, Noel, and Mitchell Robinson are all questionable, which means that we're basically doing the same rotation we've had for the past 2 games. 36 minutes for Randall, 12 minutes for Obi Toppin, straight up backup as it always is. You know, you can probably make a case it should be 37 and 11. Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel split. Noel has been out the past 3 games. Mitchell Robinson has played them. We'll only know this once we have the actual information. So then the rest of this is usually pretty easy. Quickly's minutes have been down quite a bit over the past 3 games. I'm going to take him down to 16. We've got Kemba Walker playing about 24 minutes a game. We've got Alec Burks playing about 24 minutes a game. We've got Quentin Grimes now into the 30s. Makes that a little bit easier. We've got Cam Reddish in for 16. I'm actually taking Grimes up to 32. And then Fournier in for 32. Those are your New York Knickerbockers, that's for sure. Fournier looking incredible. Wow, lots to like here for the Knicks. Is Quentin Grimes the flat minimum on DraftKings today? Okay, so for OKC, like Dort looks okay at 6,200. Isaiah Roby is the flat minimum 3K on DraftKings. That stands out if he's going to continue to get that time. On the Knicks side, though, I think this is where it's most interesting. Quentin Grimes is playing 30 minutes a game, and for some reason he's done it for the past 2. For some reason, he's still a 3K shooting guard. So Quentin Grimes is going to be the most popular play on the slate today. There's no way around it. On FanDuel, he's 5,200. He's appropriately priced. Evan Fournier looks better on FanDuel. Quentin Grimes is the best play of the day today on DraftKings, or at least he's going to be close to it. He's not the best per minute guy. He's like a 0.75 fantasy point per minute guy, but at 3K, if he's playing north of 30 minutes, he's a no-brainer. He's 55%. He's got a 55% chance to hit 5x plus 10 at 3K, which, just so everybody knows, it's only 25 fantasy points. The rate is actually more likely today to be like, 5x plus 18. But even if you say that, we're talking 33. Quentin Grimes can be a fantasy point per minute guy in this game. He is unquestionably necessary for your final lineup. So I love the idea of getting to Grimes. I like Randall a lot for 9,600. I like Evan Fournier on both sites. I like Kemba on both sites, even though I really wish I didn't. I mean, this is a dude that isn't very good right now. But I still am happy to get there. But Quentin Grimes is the prize. Let's keep going now. Game number 4. San Antonio Spurs, 5.5 point dogs in Chicago. 233 total. New look Spurs team after making a bundle of deals for the first time on the trade deadline in like 15 years. So as we look at San Antonio and Chicago, for the Spurs, Jay Rich available, Zach Collins available, Keita Bates-Diop questionable, probably not useful. Romeo Langford available. Kaycock is now down in the G League again. For Chicago, did they get anybody back? I know that there's going to be... We've got no Levine. We potentially have Javonte Green. No Ball, no Caruso, no Patrick Williams. Derek Jones, though, is back. So let's scope out the San Antonio team. We've got 35 minutes in for DeJounte Murray. We've got Trey Jones in as the backup point guard. They do play alongside each other very temporarily. We've got Jakob Poeltl in for 31 minutes. Zach Collins didn't play the last game, but we're going to say that he is the straight backup at center. I think that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, I'm fine with that. 31 minutes for Poeltl. Actually, let's make that 30 for Poeltl. 18 for Zach Collins. Might be a little incorrect, but we'll make it 16 for Zach Collins, and we're going to throw 2 minutes to Jock Landale. Got to do it. Keldon Johnson, 33 minutes. That is just what that dude plays. Doug McDermott, has played about 25, 26 minutes over the past 3. I got him in for 24. I'm going to hold there until I see if I need to change it otherwise. Devin Vassell, I got in at 28 minutes. Played 30 the last time out, 28 the past 3. I'm going to hold there, though, at 28. I've got Josh Richardson in for 20. We have no idea how that's actually going to look yet. I got Josh Primo in for 19. So I am going to give more playing time to Jay Rich. Take him up to 23. Lonnie Walker played 30 minutes in this first one. I don't know if that continues. He had been playing a lot less the previous 2 games. So I'm actually going to take 2 more minutes away from him and give him to Josh Richardson. I think Jay Rich playing like 24, 25 minutes makes the most sense. That would be my rotation for the San Antonio Spurs for right now. And it looks like Josh Richardson is going to pop a little bit. Let's look at this game now. That one was a quick one. Well, that was just San Antonio. No wonder it was pretty quick. I didn't finish it. We'll go to Chicago. By the way, if you guys don't watch the breakfast menu when I'm on Tuesdays, we did one for the Super Bowl. I gave out the amount of rounds in Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker on Saturday, which ended up being 5, to tie the amount of touchdowns in the Super Bowl, which ended up being 5, plus 900 if you were involved in that one. Creative trends. Yeah, usage rate is everything. The question is, should usage rate be factored into a player's projection, or is it just a standalone value as a reference point? No, it dictates most of the projection. Usage rate drives everything that you're doing from a scoring perspective. All right, as we look at Chicago, I got to take Levine off. We know that we need to give Kobe White 36 minutes straight away. I'm going to assume Javonte Green is in, but we need to start hemorrhaging a couple of the guys in this rotation. I'm going to go Dosunmu in for 38. The breakfast menu is a sports betting show on the Awesemo Odds channel, or the Odd Shopper channel. DeRozan, I'm going to give 38. Javonte Green had been playing 30, so I'm going to give him 30. Vooch in for 35. I'm actually going to go to 36. 12 minutes for Tony Bradley. Derek Jones came back and played 22 minutes in his first game after being out forever. So I'm going to give him, I guess, 24 here. That allows DeMar to finally move down in position a little bit. That leaves me 26 minutes left over for Matt Thomas, Malcolm Hill, Troy Brown, something in that area. I'm thinking Troy Brown gets a little bit more of it. Probably around, 18? Who the hell is the backup point guard for this team? I guess it's sort of just like DeMar, probably. I guess it doesn't really make much of a difference. We're going to give Troy Brown 18 minutes, and I'm going to give 8 minutes to Matt Thomas. That works for me. Mild 9-man rotation. Rates do not stay the same. Unfortunately, I got to pull these because these were based on Zach LaVine being in. So let's fix this Chicago team. Lots of stuff going on in this show, unfortunately. Zach LaVine off. We'll say Lonzo off. We'll say Caruso off. And then we'll say games where DeRozan, Vooch, and Kobe White all played. That should cover us from a usage perspective. Not the biggest sample in the world here, but it hits all the people that matter. So I think we can move forward. 380 some minutes here for DeMar DeRozan, 36% usage rate. So we're going to be bumping up these guys quite a bit once I grab these rates. There we go. There's usage, there's assists, and there's rebounds. Bada bing, bada boom. So we'll start it with DeMar, 36% usage rate with those guys off the floor. I'm going to make it 35 because you never want to go too far in one of the directions. Other rates stay the same. Kobe White, 23% usage rate. I don't want to go too far in that direction, but we do have to give him a decent rate here. Assist rate, oddly enough, doesn't move. Vooch has played a lot less, but he does go up to a 20, we'll say 28% usage rate in this one. I'm going to leave all the other rates the same. Awesemo, 13% usage rate is fine. Derek Jones hasn't played enough, not touching his rates. Javonte Green hasn't played enough without those guys, not touching their rates. They're all not usage guys anyway. So remember, this is a fast-paced game against the Spurs. Derek hit me with the AO maggots from Workaholics. That is I say that a lot in life. DeJounte Murray, 10.8 on FanDuel, 11K on DraftKings. Still looks good at those prices. I got him at 1.51 FanDuel points per minute. I'd be happy to get to some Keldon Johnson. I probably get to too much of that dude regardless, but that's fine. Not too much else for San Antonio. Chicago, on the other hand, DeRozan, Awesemo, Vooch, and Kobe White are all massively important plays today. On DraftKings, I can't really separate them. I'd say Kobe White's probably first because he's the easiest to get to. DeRozan and Vooch are probably they're priced appropriately, but they also look really good against San Antonio. I still like Awesemo too, but he's very expensive for his per minute rates. Those four guys, though, look exceptional. We got a lot of really good plays so far through the first 4 games. Is that really what it is? 4 games? Damn. All right. So 5 more games to go. It's 7:20. We're not going to get out of here till 8 o'clock. So buckle up. We're at 160 viewers, almost 70 likes. So keep hitting that thumbs up. And don't forget to go to Prize Picks. Sign up awesemo.com/prizepicks-promo. Portland, 15-point underdogs in Milwaukee, 232 total. I got to delete this entire rotation. I don't know what's going on in Portland right now. We're going to need to pull more rates because this team does not look anything like they did before. So no DSJ, no Bledsoe, no Keon Johnson, no Didi Luzada, obviously no Dame, no Joe Ingles, no Nas Little. So let's see. Did these guys play the last time out? Josh Hart did. Does that cover me for everybody else? Do they have other weird dudes? Justice Winslow, I know, did play. Oh, God. All right. This is bleak. All right. So we're going to start with Anthony Simons. He's playing 36 minutes at the minimum. Bang. Done. Josh Hart's playing 36 minutes at a minimum. Done. Justice Winslow is just playing 34 minutes a game. Okay. We're going to go with it. Justice Winslow minutes in. Nurk has played 33 minutes a game over the past 3. We're going 32 on Nurk. I'm going 33 on Nurk. Done. CJ Ellaby. We know Trendon Watford's been the backup center. Is that just straight backup center run? 48 minutes, 49 minutes, 54 minutes. Was that overtime? No. Interesting. Okay. Doesn't matter. They were short on bodies then anyway. So Watford goes in there. Ellaby is going to go in for 28. I think 28 makes some sense. Maybe 30. We'll go 28. Backup point guard is probably what? Elijah Hughes. He's more of a shooting guard, but I think that kind of discussion just holds here. We need to give him minutes anyway. They got to come from Utah, so I guess I never moved him over in the Utah deal. So Elijah Hughes off to Portland. Surprised that I missed out on Elijah Hughes there. I would have thought that his name would have just immediately been in my brain. JK. All right, we'll give Elijah Hughes 12 minutes. We'll give... Got to give Ben McLemore, I don't know, like 30 minutes, maybe 28 minutes. 28 minutes. Then 18 for Greg Brown. That'll work. That's Portland. Don't totally know what to do here with rates. I'm going to take Ben McLemore's usage rate out. Yeah, that's fine. Everything else I think is going to be the same here. Honestly, it feels like I should probably be bumping Simon's usage rate, but 24 feels about right. Same for Nurk. Justice Winslow and Josh Hart popping like crazy. Lots to like for Portland. Unfortunately, them being 15-point underdogs is a bit of a complicating factor. All right, so for Milwaukee, we know Pat Connaughton is out. He broke his hand. The rest of Milwaukee should be relatively easy to deal with. I guess I need to get Lindell Wigington added to my my model in some way in the near future. Is Greg Monroe now not with this team? Let's look at Milwaukee. No George Hill, no Pat Connaughton, no Brook Lopez. Giannis is here. I guess Greg Monroe is still with the team. Although, in theory, it's got to be pretty close to his contract being up. Where's Milwaukee hiding? Justin, absolutely. Let's get this week rolling. All right, so 34 minutes for Drew Holiday. Sure. 34 minutes for Chris Middleton. Sure. Actually, we're going to go 33, 33, 33. So let's do something like that. We got 30 for Bobby Portis. That's fine. 15 for Greg Monroe. That seems fine-ish. I'm going to have to bump Grayson Allen out with some of these guys out. I have to bump Wes Matthews' minutes up to 22 or something along those lines. We'll take Grayson Allen up to 30. It leaves me 43 more minutes. Jordan Nwora surely has to enter the rotation again. We'll give him 18. And then I still have 25 minutes left. In theory, it needs to go to Wigington. Oh, yeah, they've got Serge now. So now I don't think Greg Monroe plays. I think we get Serge Ibaka. Not that that changes anything for what we're doing here, but yeah, Serge Ibaka is going to have to play. I'm going to have to place hold minutes on Wigington until I can put him back into the rotation. They're not going to go to Mamukelashvili. Rodney Hood and Semi are both off the team. So, man, a team that used to be drowning in guards is no longer drowning in guards. Gerald, I don't know where you mean. Most of what we're looking at are minutes right now. Oh, all right. So I'm going to, since Wigington's not going to be relevant, I'm going to chop 25 minutes across two guys that I know are irrelevant for today. So I'm going to go 12 minutes to George Hill, 13 to Connaughton as placeholders until I get Wigington into my model. This won't change anything for any of these guys. Rates all stay the same since Giannis and Holiday and Middleton are all in. So nothing to worry about there. So that's Portland and Milwaukee. Milwaukee in a really tough spot here against Portland just because they should beat the brakes off of them. This Portland team is really bad. Unfortunately, we got to play a lot of Portland. I think Josh Hart looks like a great value on both sites. Anthony Simons looks like a good value on both sites. Much more so on FanDuel at 9,600. Sorry, 6,900. Justice Winslow, great value on both sites, 6K and 5,600. And then Nurk is only 7,600 on FanDuel, $1,300 cheaper than he is on DraftKings. Lots to like for Portland if you think they can keep this even mildly competitive. For Milwaukee, Giannis is at the top of the heap. No one should be surprised there. I would say Bobby Portis would be second. And then Holiday is better on DraftKings, Middleton better on FanDuel. 4 more games to go. Toronto at the New Orleans Pelicans up next. Raptors are 4.5-point favorites in New Orleans. I'm assuming this is pretty easy to deal with. Although Toronto should have Thad Young available for this one. But everybody is in. So I actually want to project this rotation again from scratch. Just feels easier right now. Fred VanVleet, 38 minutes. Yes. Gary Trent, 37 minutes. Yes. OG Anunoby, 37 minutes. Scotty Barnes has been playing a lot less as of late. We're going to go to 34 on Barnes. And then Siakam, I'm going to say, is 38 again. Interesting, Cantor, really. Sean, the Blazers have not been playing better without CJ and Dame. I mean, what are we doing here? How is that a sentence you would think to type? So they traded, I mean, he's got to play. You cannot, the Raptors would not trade for Thad Young and not play him. Not giving up, like mild first round equity. I mean, maybe they would. Maybe they found out he's just cooked. I have to assume he's playing. I just have to. He's got to play something. The Boucher and Precious minutes are going down. I'm going to say that Precious Achiuwa leaves this rotation for Thad Young. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to give him probably I don't know. I'm going to go 16 to Kem Birch. Maybe 12 to Thad Young. All right, let's move 11 minutes of OG Anunoby down. We're going to move 22 minutes of Scotty Barnes down. And then I'm going to move basically all of my Pascal Siakam minutes down, I guess. That gives me 18 for Boucher. There's your Raptors. Now, rates don't change. That doesn't have to really matter here at all. We've got everybody that matters in. So that's Toronto. Let's look at the Pelicans now. Yeah, Cantor, I'm with you there. They're all irrelevant. New Orleans Pelicans. So we've seen CJ just step in and start playing a ton. I'm going to redo their entire rotation as well. It just seems easier to do. So no Zion, no Larry Nance. We know exactly what we're getting here out of this team. So we'll start it up with Devontae Graham, just in for standard issue 29 minutes. Actually, we'll make that 30. CJ in for 36. Herb Jones in for 32. Brandon Ingram in for 35. Joe Val in for 32. Ron, I do. I don't have an answer for that question. Sorry. I haven't looked at the slate yet. I'm not even halfway through projecting minutes. All righty. Willie Hernan-Gomez is back. They're just playing all three centers, which is a thing that's happening. So assuming Willie Hernan-Gomez is going, well, what day was that? Saturday? Okay. So Joe Val checked out. Hernan-Gomez checked in. Hernan-Gomez was the straight backup to Joe Val in the first half. He didn't take that run at the beginning of the fourth quarter. They went to Jackson Hayes. Okay. So we're going to say that Jackson Hayes plays about 4 minutes at center. Willie Hernan-Gomez plays the other 12. I guess we're going to give Jackson Hayes. 17 minutes. He's been playing more than that. So let's get it up to 20. So that's 3 more. Just bump Brandon Ingram down a little bit. Alvarado just plays backup point guard. So there's 18. That leaves me 25 minutes for Garrett Temple, Gary Clark, Najee Marshall. Could really go multiple directions here. I'm going to go 12 to Temple and 13 to Gary Clark. None of it matters. Those guys aren't going to pop. Rates should all stay the same. We just don't know what they're going to do here. There's going to be a lot of usage for Ingram and McCollum and Joe Val and very little else. So that game is in the books. We look at Toronto. Surprise, surprise. We're going to like most of their starting lineup. I think Pascal Siakam's price is getting to a point where it's a little difficult to make that push. But Van Vliet, Anunoby's price now, which was up in the 8s like 2 weeks ago, 6,900 on FanDuel, 6,400 on DraftKings. Now Anunoby looks like arguably the best play here. Gary Trent still looks fantastic on DraftKings at 6,500. I think you can make a mild case for Scotty Barnes on FanDuel, but once again, we're just playing a lot of Toronto. On the Pelican side, Joe Val, FanDuel, 6,800. Compete between him and Nurk. That mid-tier center cost looks fantastic. Looks good for 7,700 too. Don't really like all that much else for the Pelicans. I prefer Ingram to McCollum, given the choices between the two. We go to Orlando, 10.5 point underdogs in Denver, 225 total. I have no idea what's going on with Orlando right now, but I think they're relatively healthy. Yeah, no Fultz, Isaac, Hampton, or Mo Wagner, so 33 minutes for Cole Anthony, yes. 32 minutes for Jalen Suggs. Yeah, maybe not. Take him down to 30. Terrence Ross in for 20. We'll make that 21. We've got Chuma Okeke in for 24. That seems right. 32 for Franz Wagner seems right enough. Iggy Brasdeikis plays every game. That looks fine. Bamba, I've got in for 21 minutes. That might be a little light. Robin Lopez is playing, though. 31 for Wendell Carter Jr. How do I get Mo Bamba more minutes? That's the real question. Because I got to get that up to... Honestly, I don't even think I need to get it to 22. Orlando is basically an impossible team to project. That's a real blast. But everything holds for this team, and at which point, I mean, maybe I should take Cole Anthony down to 32. No, he just plays these minutes. Yeah, we're just going to like bits of Orlando, as we usually do. On Denver, now this one's a little bit more complicated. I don't know if Monty Morris is back yet. I assume he is, or at least trying to be. Q-tag on Monty Morris, Q-tag on Zeke Naji. So I needed to gut everything from a guard perspective here. So as we look at Denver, assuming Monty Morris is back, I think he just steps right into 30 minutes. I think Campazzo leaves the rotation again. We go to like 18 minutes of Austin Rivers, 19 minutes to Bones Highland, 19 minutes to Bryn Forbes. Is it that easy? 34 to Will Barton? Yeah, it's that easy. All right, so no, actually, we do got to make some other changes. Monty Morris does have an effect on the rates for the Nuggets, so let's pull updated rates here for Denver. Denver off Michael Porter Jr. That's it, right? That's the only guy. All right, so Porter off. And then we say that Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, Monty Morris, and Will Barton. Let's say all started. How many games do they have where they all started and Michael Porter Jr. is off the floor? It's got to be a decent chunk of time at this point, right? It is a decent chunk of time. That'll work. All right, let's grab these Denver rates. Boop, 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 boop. We're slowly picking up steam. 738, by the way. We've got 175 people, 91 likes. If you're here and you haven't hit the like button yet, do so now. Let's run that number north of 100 so that I can shut up about it. I really need less, just like a pop-up that says it on the screen, but we'll get there eventually. All right, so Jokic, not the biggest usage rate in the world with MPJ off when he starts with those other four guys. So just remember that. Assist rate, on the other hand, though, massive. Rebounding rate, also pretty massive. Will Barton, 21.1% usage rate. Will Barton is basically himself. In this case, Aaron Gordon, 19.2, so he doesn't do anything all that differently, except for rebound less somehow. Monty Morris has a very minimal usage rate. Assist rate, we kind of just know. So I don't think I have anything else I need to change here other than locking in Bones' usage rate, but that should cover us. So that's Denver. We already have Orlando done. And we know what we're playing for Orlando. Cole Anthony on FanDuel and DraftKings, 6,900 and 7,100. We're going to do a little bit of Franz Wagner, a little bit of Wendell Carter, a little bit of Mo Bamba, all across FanDuel. A little bit less interesting on DraftKings. And then for Denver, Jokic looks great. 11-3, 12-2. Will Barton looks pretty solid for 6,300. Aaron Gordon looks fine for sixes. I'm going to sneeze. Whew. Okie doke. That happened. That was a good sneeze. It woke me up a little bit. I'm running low on coffee. That's depressing. All right, 2 games to go here. Houston at Utah. Houston Rockets are 14-point underdogs in Utah. That is piss poor. I don't know who's available for Houston. Is it everybody? It's everybody. No Garuba, but otherwise Eric Gordon is in. Other than not having Eric Gordon in, I'm good here. I'm going to have to pull rates, unfortunately. That's kind of annoying for Houston. Most of this should be pretty easy, though. So as I cut out Houston, we go Kevin Porter Jr. Definitely been playing more as of late. In the 5 games since he's been back, averaging about 34 minutes a game. I'm at least going to go to 33. I have to assume that they haven't been competitive. So 34 minutes for KPJ. I'm letting you guys know right now, we're going to like Houston today, and it's going to make us sick. We've got Christian Wood in for 32 minutes right now. Şengün, since we started doing this new Şengün thing, is playing about 25 minutes a game, maybe 26. Get up to 26. Jalen Green is playing, about 34 minutes a game as well. Jayshawn Tate certainly playing about 30. Eric Gordon. You know what? This might be a little higher because of Gordon being out. I wasn't thinking about it until right now. 32 here, 32 here, 30 for Tate, 32 for Wood, 26 for Şengün. We're going to get Eric Gordon back in. I mean, he had been playing 30 minutes, basically. I'm going to do that as well. The rest of this should fill itself out. So we'll give Josh Christopher 16 minutes. We give Kenyon Martin. I mean, that dude plays like 22 minutes a game. So we'll go ahead and give him that kind of run. Leaves us 20 minutes for... Well, I would have thought it was Armani Brooks. They went to David Nwaba this last time out. Oh, yeah, they have Dennis Schroeder now. Let's just say that Dennis Schroeder plays 20 minutes. That seems reasonable. He might actually play more than that. I forgot they had Dennis Schroeder. All right, so there's 20 minutes for Schroeder. Rates for this team... I think I could just sort of assume that Eric Gordon plays his normal role. And so does Dennis Schroeder. That seems about fine for me. We're not going to get to Kmart. Not really going to get to Schroeder either. All right, so that's Houston. Luckily for us, Utah is one of the easier teams to project. Let's hope that continues. For Utah, Q-tag on Gobert, no Rudy Gay. Q-tag on Eric Paschall. Last game out, we did not get Gobert back, which definitely makes me think that he's coming back today. Oh, Brandon D. Appreciate that. I forgot that Armani Brooks got waived. I remember seeing that now. Thanks for the reminder. All right. I'm fine with Conley's minutes, Mitchell's minutes, Clarkson's minutes, Boyan's minutes. I'm fine with all these minutes right now. Yeah, I don't have anything I want to really change here. I mean, maybe I take some playing time away from Eric Paschall and I give it to Trent Forrest, but this is meaningless. Rates all stay the same. We saw Nickeil Alexander-Walker basically not play. We'll see if that changes. So I don't have any changes I want to make here for the Jazz. Let's look at this game now. For Houston, it's just a lot of similar looking dudes. So you're picking out like one guy from Houston out of Wood, Porter, Green, Tate, Gordon, and Şengün. Overall, it's probably Jalen Green and Eric Gordon that interest me the most, but this one's gross. No priorities, at least, from Houston. If you're getting a priority from Utah, it's probably Donovan Mitchell. 8,800 on FanDuel, 9,200 on DraftKings. But let's close this one out. Final game of the night, late night hammer. Actually, I don't know if there's more than one late night hammer. Now, this is the true late night hammer. Golden State at the LA Clippers. Golden State, 6-point favorites in LA. For the Warriors, we've got no Draymond, no Iggy, no Wiseman, which means Clay is playing and Porter are playing. So we got 36 minutes in for Steph. Yes. We've got 28 minutes in for Jordan Poole. Sure. Although in the last 7 games that he's played, it's been 26 when Clay is in. I gave Clay 30. That is what he plays. I gave Damian Lee 19. I got him in at 17. I think that's fine. 33 for Wiggins seems fine. Gary Payton has been playing a little bit less. So there's 12. We've got 26 minutes in for Looney. Sure. 18 for Juan Toscano-Anderson. No, we'll take that away. The Bucket is playing 23 minutes a game. Actually, I'm going to give him 22. I'll give him straight back up there. Bielitsa back. Let's give him like 14 minutes here. And 24 minutes for Otto Porter. Bada bing, bada boom. That one slipped right in. And I don't think that I need to make any rate changes here. Although, I'm not entirely sure why I give Stephen Clay just... Oh, yeah, I remember Wiggins just working out like that. Okay, I'm leaving that. All right, so that's Golden State. Let's close it out. Final team, LA Clippers. Arguably the most difficult team to project in basketball. For the Clips, no Norm Powell. I did not know that he got hurt. That's out for 20 games. That sucks. So no Paul George. Q tag on Luke Kennard. Everybody else available. It's probably going to be easier to just start from scratch. So Reggie Jackson back to playing normal minutes again. So we're going to pop him in for 32. We're going to do another 30 for Terrence Mann. We're going to say Zubats is in for 26. Hartenstein in for 14. Marcus Morris gets the rest of that run. Up to 30 minutes. We're going to put Nick Batum in for, 26. That seems right. Amir Coffey, 28 minutes. Why the hell is Robert Covington not playing more? That I don't totally understand. We'll give Robert Covington 20 minutes, I guess. Brandon Boston's out of the rotation, so I don't care about him. Luke Kennard's questionable, but if he's in, I want to give him like 24 minutes. And that leaves me 10 additional minutes for nobody, which really doesn't make a ton of sense. So I will give those to Brandon Boston. And I'm going to just trust the rates here because there's a lot of usage to go around. And all right, here's the sad news, guys. We're going to like the Clippers tonight. Steph looks good on FanDuel and DraftKings. Happy to get there. Otto Porter for 4K on FanDuel actually stands out quite a bit as a value option. But the big problem here is the Clippers. Prices have come down, and now their minutes are going back up. So Reggie Jackson, 6,400 on FanDuel, 6K on DraftKings, I think looks great. Terrence Mann at 4,300 on DraftKings, I think looks great. Amir Coffey, 3,800 on both sites, I think looks great. Zubats for 4,200 on DraftKings, good value. Batum, Kennard, both guys looking really solid. There's a lot to like for the Clippers, unfortunately. Luckily, I don't have to ask for likes. 218 peeps in here, 116. It's time to find out what actually looks good on this slate. It's time to run crunches. So if you haven't hit that like button, hit it now for the crunches. That is the best part of this show. We can find out who are the best plays for today and how good are they. We will start on FanDuel for a FanDuel Optimal. FanDuel Optimal is Donovan Mitchell, Seth Curry, Patty Mills, Eric Gordon, Giannis, Amir Coffey, Jeremy Grant, Thomas Bryant, Nikola Jokic. So double pay up to Giannis Jokic, which is nuts. This is tied at 329.5, by the way. You also get the pay up in Donovan Mitchell, so a lot of pay down options. If you go to the lineup it's tied with, we kick Jokic out for Nurkic, and then we just sort of like upgrade incrementally across the rest of the lineup. Kind of a wild lineup there on FanDuel. Nothing shocking, but there's a lot of value out there today. Our rankings. Ooh. Looking like a relatively flat exposure set. We don't have anybody really pulling away. there's just a lot of really good plays that look pretty similar. So closing it out, power rankings on FanDuel. This looks like it's about done. De'Aaron Fox is at the top of the list. Justice Winslow, Kobe White, Cole Anthony, Anthony Simons, Kyle Kuzma, all basically with the exact same rates. Nurkic, Siakam, Jeremy Grant, DeJounte Murray, Josh Hart, Reggie Jackson, and Giannis round it all out. Now we go to DraftKings. For DK, optimal lineup is, a lot of Bulls. Kobe White, Quentin Grimes, Patty Mills, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Reggie Jackson, Seth Curry, and Ivica Zubac. So that's a pay up to DeRozan and a pay up to Vooch. That's kind of crazy. They got that one by 1/10 of a point. I got to let my other dog into the room with my wife, but I'm going to hit power rankings are running on DraftKings. We back. See, they're still running. It didn't even matter if I was sitting here. I had nothing else to say. I thought Quentin Grimes would pull away. I think there's enough value that he's not overwhelmingly pulling away. Kobe White and Patty Mills are at the top of this power rankings list right now. Reggie Jackson also pretty close to them. Grimes in that same tier. It's a 4-horse race at the top. Patty Mills, Kobe White, Quentin Grimes, Reggie Jackson. So that's 4 interesting guards, and they all basically have the same odds of being optimal. And you probably only get one of them, which is nuts. Dosunmu, Cole Anthony, Terrence Mann, Amir Coffey rounded out. A lot of Clippers at the top on DK today. And then we finish it off with Yahoo. Final crunch. Remember, guys, process show today. We've got 3 more this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, before we start the NBA All-Star break on Friday, and we take a week off. I will be doing an All-Star game show on Sunday with Lofty. We're going to do a deeper dive. Optimal lineup on Yahoo, by the way. Kobe White, Donovan Mitchell, Reggie Jackson, Patty Mills, Julius Randle, Justice Winslow, Nikola Vucevic, and Alperen Şengün. But yeah, we're going to be basically like taking a full week off of content, which is pretty nice. I'm going to recharge the batteries. We are going to get back to this and just absolutely put the pedal to the metal for the final stretch of this season, for the rest of February, for March. When's the last day of the regular season? April 10th is the end of the regular season. So we've got the rest of February, all of March, a week and change of April before we jump into the NBA playoffs. And then we start talking about this in a much different way. We're talking showdowns. So Kobe White, Justice Winslow, Julius Randle. They're the 3 guys above 20% on Yahoo. Guys above 15%, we rounded out. De'Aaron Fox, Nikola Vucevic, Patty Mills, Yusuf Nurkic, Kyle Kuzma, Thomas Bryant. Guys, that is it. Boom. We are done. Bedhead edition of the process is in the books, guys. Thank you so much for being here for this one. Contenders videos will be out in a bit. As I mentioned, no strategy show for me today, but I am on Live Before Lock with Greg for 90 minutes later tonight. I really appreciate you guys being here. It's been a fun one. It was a good slate. What do we have up for the rest of this week? What are the slate sizes? I have not looked yet. We've got obviously 9 today. We've got 7 on Tuesday. We've got 11 on Wednesday. That's going to be a marathon, leading into a very tiny 5-game slate on Thursday. But we're going to be off Friday, Saturday, All-Star game on Sunday, then off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That'll do it, everybody. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button if you haven't done it. This is the process.